Okay, so we are on 4.2. We're in vertex form now. So we're going to start with a quadratic equation means there's an x squared. So we call just regular x squared our parent function. That's where we always start. It's a parabola. It goes through 0, 0. It's a symmetric, just easy. And then we're going to start moving it. We're going to stretch it out. We're going to make it skinnier. We're going to move it right and left, up and down. These are called transformations. And we usually do these transformations in vertex form. So we've looked at vertex form before, where we just looked at h and k, these two values, to be our vertex. So remember, your vertex is your turning point. So for our parent function, for x squared, it's always at 0, 0. But we're going to have different values here. And remember the h value, it's always the opposite sign. And it's like that when we do transformations as well. It's always the opposite way. So when we look at transformations, I'm going to skip over here to h. H is our horizontal movement. And again, it's the opposite sign. So if we're going left, it's actually going to be plus. If we're going right, it's going to be minus. So remember that if it's in the parentheses, it's opposite. And then K is our vertical movements. So that's if we're going up, it's going to be positive. If we're going down, it's going to be negative, just like what you would think. Okay, and then our A, there's two arrows to the A because it does two things. The first thing we've seen in our last section, if A is negative, if you start a parabola with anything negative, it turns it upside down. So we actually call that a reflection over the x-axis. So a reflection if A is negative, and that just means that our parabola is going to be upside down. And the other thing A does is it stretches, or what we say shrinks. So if A is greater than 1, A is the factor of the stretch. If A is less than 1, it's a factor of the shrinking. So less than 1, think fraction, right? If it's greater than 1, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And if it's 1, then there's no change. Like this is really just 1x squared, right? Then it just stays how it is with the parent function. So in this section, we're going to look at different transformations and how we can see that in our equations and graphs.